Where's my fishies? Book time. Yes, it is book time. Congratulations to Wood for being first in chat. Hello, Dova. Hello, Dog Hunter. Hello, Melody. Hello, Pro Self Love. Hello, Mac. Hello, Shattered. Hello, Kylie. I don't know how to say your name, but hello in TikTok chat. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here today.
I love you. I love you.
Who's the cute voice I hear? This? Is this a cute voice? I wouldn't know. You guys would never believe. I haven't actually eaten my dinner yet. Would you like to listen to my dinner? Good food. Oh, the cute voice was the I love you alert? Okay. Steph eating ASMR? What's for dinner? Excellent question. I know it's quinoa, and there's some corns, and beans, and chicken, and I think sweet potato. The camera's not supposed to be over there. What happened? What did you have to eat? I am consuming sustenance now. I really wish they would figure out what the hell is wrong with the Stream Deck. Anyway, hi. Oh! I didn't mean to do that. I meant to tab out. Steph can stream for 24 hours. You're crazy. I can't do that. Healthy food? Gross? I have to be healthy. Well, actually, it's a microwavable bowl that I got from the store. And so it's very quick and easy to heat up. Factor? No. Actually, we used to be sponsored by Factor. The people who were here maybe like 3 years ago would remember that we did, I think, 2 or maybe 3 HelloFresh sponsorships. No, it was 2 HelloFresh sponsorships and a Factor sponsorship. And I think we had another, Magic Spoon. We had a Magic Spoon sponsorship. And I think there was another sponsorship somewhere in there. I want my steak bloody, my potatoes red, my corn buttered. I want buttered corn. I mean, believe me, is this my first choice? No. Can I cook for shit? No. Also, do I stream? Yes. I don't have time to cook for 40 minutes. And then sit my ass down and eat the food for 20 minutes. And then clean the fucking dishes. And then put away all of the extra food. Because living alone is hard. HelloFresh's portions aren't enough. I actually found their portions to be great for me. I could actually take a 2-person portion from HelloFresh and I could make it last 3 meals. It really worked for me. And it would get me in the habit of actually cooking, which was nice. But it's expensive. It's keto, right? What is HelloFresh? You can choose. Is it good we just started? Yes. I am French. I'm not. Please don't ask me to speak French. I love your mommy voice. Thank you. Ironically, now's the time I'd consider signing up for one of the food services if any of them are good. As long as you... And I guess maybe I shouldn't say this as someone who previously was sponsored by HelloFresh. If you can get, like, a discount and continue, like, doing discount after discount after discount, it's great. If you want a cheaper alternative and you're okay with eating relatively the same things all the time, Every Plate is actually owned by the company that owns HelloFresh, or HelloFresh themselves. So Every Plate is cheaper, but like I said, you would be eating similar things quite frequently. It's just like the sauces would be different, you know? I tried Every Plate first, and I was actually on Every Plate for a very long time. Oh, I tried Home Chef. That one I did not feel like it was worth it. Hi, Taken. Thank you for joining in TikTok chat. Steamed broccoli? I like steamed broccoli. I'll cook for you? Really? I would love that. Nothing is fresh anymore? If you're in America, no. Thank you for the finger heart. I can kind of do that. There we go. Hi, Will. Thank you for joining us on TikTok. Is it even worth eating a steak if it isn't screaming for its life? Shattered? I'm concerned. Not for the animal. I'm concerned. Are you a cannibal? Maybe you shouldn't answer that. Because Twitch will hunt you down. But you do know that being a cannibal is illegal, right? And then this motherfucker's next message is, you were on Every Plate. I'm concerned, and not just about me. I was just about to say, dog. I can think of... I'm done. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Shattered's next message is, I can think of something I'll eat while it screams. I'm logging off for the day. Thank you. Bye. I'm kidding. Unfortunately, I am not. I am not gonna run away. Why am I a streamer? Why am I a streamer? Why do I put up with this? Is it stream if we don't fluster and flirt with Steph? I'm from Russia. Здравствуйте. Welcome. I forgot the word for welcome in Russian. Thank you so much for the gifts on TikTok. Thank you, thank you. And hi to you.
Спасибо.
Oh, I forget how to, oh my god, I forget how to ask in Russian. What is it? I mean, because like, I keep thinking of how to say it in Japanese.
英語を話しますか?
That's not helpful. That's not helpful when you're trying to speak Russian. Just like saying, you know, perro versus собака. I keep forgetting that perro is Spanish. Hi, 9. And собака is Russian.
Robert, thank you so much for the gifts on TikTok. Thank you, thank you.
Ты говоришь по-английски, пожалуйста.
That's it.
Right? That's it. Ты, informal. Говоришь, informal to speak. По-английски, English language. Пожалуйста. Please. Ты говоришь по-английски, пожалуйста. You want to be our friend and connect with people without going outside? I've been going outside lately. I have. I was about to cry. I will hug you so hard you can't cry. Because I'll be so full of love that your tears will evaporate. Please don't cry. I'll behave myself now that I've made my promise. Okay. I don't think that it's possible for Shattered to behave himself, but okay. Thirsty Thursday? Maybe you guys are thirsty. Please don't end stream early. I won't. I will hug you so hard you can't cry. Sentences that sound like threats if said by anyone other than Steph. I use aggressive positivity and reinforcement. Especially with my coworker. I did that earlier today too, where I was like, you can do this. You've got this. The floor is yours. Like, you have my full attention. You know what? Log off. Go home. Take a break and tell them that you deserve to go to lunch. You don't have work. You don't have work that can't be worked later when you're supposed to work. It's lunchtime. Your belly takes priority.
Your tum-tum. Your tum-tum is hungry.
Mm-hmm. Or she'll be like, why does this sound like a fanfic? Am I that cringy? Am I so cringy that I sound like a fanfic? Okay. You said, it's not that. You need to go to work? Bye, Shattered. Have a good work. Don't fall. I call dibs on all hugs. Dog Hunter, you like food? Hi, Clay. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on TikTok today. What was I saying? I don't remember. But yeah. Oh, when my coworker is like, I am so sorry to disturb you, or like, I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm like, I didn't want to, steal your moment or something like that. And I'm like, please take the moment. The moment is yours. You know what? The moment that you speak I give you the moment. You just need to look at me, and I will give you the moment. I guess you could say I'm flirting with my coworkers, but flirting in a friendly way. Because it's not flirting at all. It's just like aggressively appreciating your coworkers and providing positive reinforcement. At least in my opinion. So do that thing. Do the thing that you wanted to do because you want to do it. Don't worry about inconveniencing others. Anyway, I'm gonna take a bite of my dinner now. Dog Hunter, you said, I mean, only when you talk about pretty boys from deep space. Those handsome bastards. What are you talking about? What did I say? I don't remember. You guys want me to talk about attractive fictional men? What's for dinner? It's quinoa and chicken and sweet potato and corn and beans and I don't know. About sounding like a fanfic? I mean, I could read you guys my Love and Deep Space fanfic. They're currently talking about a contract. And I actually told my coworker, I'm like, you know, I feel like a nerd right now because I am in control of this story. But like, they're sitting down talking about yeah, it's a self-insert because I don't know how to be anything except me, unfortunately, to a degree. It's unfortunate. But, like, she's sitting there going through this fictional contract and having a whole ass fucking conversation about, hey, like, can you clarify this legal language? Because the text here implies that, you know what, let me fucking pull it up. Well, I also have to scroll past the part where they have sex. We won't read that. Not today. Hey, Ghost. Talk about attractive women? You want me to talk about myself? I have a question. What's your favorite book to read on stream so far? What has been my favorite book to read on stream? Sex in our Christian chat? You mean Christian Minecraft server? Actually, wait, isn't it worse to be Catholic? It's just different flavors of Jesus, I guess. I don't know. I don't follow it. Talk about yourself? How do I become a fish? In order to have a fish in the background, you have to send a chat message on either Twitch or YouTube. If you want to find me on any other platforms, if you're not watching on those two platforms, you can find me on all social medias under the same name. Can you repeat that? I didn't answer. What has been my favorite book to read on stream? I think the one that I enjoyed reading the most, and it presented a great challenge, The House in the Cerulean Sea. How do I become a lionfish? You become a lion first, and then you send a chat message. Okay, let me scroll back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, she has a conversation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, he says, you know, the contract is ready. It covers everything we discussed earlier. I'm not gonna give you guys details. Can you please read it thoroughly and carefully and ask if you have any questions? I want to make sure everything is clear before we sign. Let me go to YouTube, of course. From Germany, welcome back, Sonaria. 50 Shades of Goofball? Oh, there wouldn't be 50 Shades. I think it's silly we love to read or listen to books despite whether or not we remember it or not. I've read so many stories that I remember the story themselves. I've always wondered why it's called 50 Shades. I don't know. Why is it called 50 Shades? You know what? Do you guys want me to read 50 Shades to you? Ah? She says, wow, already? That was fast. We have a very efficient legal team, and I wanted to get this done as soon as possible to put your mind at ease. Take your time reading. I'll be here when you're done. She reads for a long time, asking what a specific word means or double-checking the meaning of specifics. She stops a few pages in. This isn't the pay we discussed. This is far more. And I don't understand what this section on is regarding insurance. It sounds like there's some cost associated to it. I thought we said everything would be covered. He listens carefully to her questions. He appreciates her attention to detail and her willingness to ask about what she doesn't understand. He leans forward slightly. The pay was increased because we want you to have more than we discussed. We want you to have financial security. And the insurance part covers medical expenses, not just for accidents or illness, but family planning if it comes to that. So yes, the cost is covered by us. Will insurance include therapy and counseling? Protected by HIPAA as well, so you guys don't invade my privacy? He nods immediately. Absolutely. The insurance covers therapy and counseling, both physical and mental health services. He taps the contract. And yes, protected by HIPAA law. We cannot access your medical records or information without your explicit consent. We want you to feel safe and secure in every aspect of this arrangement. Hey, Robert, thanks for joining on YouTube. Is that the creature of Sonaria? Potentially. Dova joined on YouTube too. Purely curious, please don't. I already feel like a shitty man. Well, Dog Hunter, I feel like 50 Shades would make you feel better because 50 Shades is such a shitty book. At least that's what I've been told. I haven't read it myself. So, yeah, this this is the self-insert fanfic that I've been writing. No, I haven't read it. I could if you guys want me to. I also pulled up AO3 if you guys want me to read some fanfic. A little surprising? Why is it surprising? I prefer quality. Not AO3. There's some Love and Deep Space AO3 fanfics. You know. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading this because you guys got me started. I'll just, stop when they get to the sex part. Pro Self Love says, I love your writing. Thank you. I actually, I'm actually not reading it entirely word for word. How do me fish? I think you've got a fish. Let's take a look. If you're watching on... Oh, you don't have a fish. So you have to go to the YouTube, the horizontal live stream, not the YouTube shorts. Yeah, on Twitch and YouTube. You were close, Robert. You were close. There's 2 YouTube streams. Send it? Sex it up? Well, because I got really clever. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I got pretty clever, in my opinion. I'm also trying to eat my dinner, damn it. Can we have puzzle? Mm-hmm. I could be puzzle. Mm-hmm. Puzzle it up. You want a difficult puzzle? You want a good puzzle? You want an easy puzzle? What the hell? You know, I think hell is a fictional place that people believe in. They're allowed to. Hi, Saberwolf. Can someone in Twitch chat say puzzle, please? Hell is a state of consciousness. If you believe this. There we go. Thank you, Melody. Okay, so then I have to go to this screen. And then I have to do that. And then that. All right. There you go. You got a puzzle. Do you watch anime? Not recently. We want you to feel safe and secure in every aspect of this arrangement. He watches her continue reading. He's impressed by her thoroughness and her concern for her own well-being. She nods and returns to studying the contract in silence. She eventually reaches the page on risks. She focuses closely on the section... Oh no. I'm gonna skip over that. I'm gonna skip over that. No, because that, yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna skip over that because that goes into a political realm. We're not gonna do that. Would we need a mediator? A third party could be helpful, yes. Someone trained in conflict resolution and mediation. Especially since there could be strong emotions involved from both sides. But ultimately, the mediator's job would be to facilitate open communication and ensure your rights and wishes are respected, not make the final decision. Would you feel more comfortable with that arrangement? Never skip, don't skip. I'm not doing that. I'm not reading everything, okay? Because the amount of detail that I put in my writing does not always need to be Do you know that Beyblades don't have a god that value morals? What? Read everything in the universe? Alright, who's ready for back-breaking smut? Someone clip that? First time she broke character? Have I ever broke character? Am I a character? You know what? So, Dogs says, doesn't Beyblade exist in the Christian universe? What about Ninjago? Are we ready for that conversation? That is an excellent emote, Dova. Now I'm getting text messages. My family is ready for smut. I think that's a special tag. Unless... What's Beacon's AI? Beacon's AI is like a link tree or, there's other websites. It's a link in bio. So it's a website that's going to give you other websites that I am providing. I'm glad I could make you laugh, Pro Self-Love. Okay. Would the mediator be a separate person, not involved with the household? Preferably. A mediator not influenced by your family or wealth or biased to either party, she says simply. Then, she resumes reading the contract in silence. He makes a mental note to find an independent mediator if the situation arises. He respects her request for an unbiased third party. As she continues reading silently, he observes her focused expression. He admires her and the way she advocates for herself. After several minutes of reading quietly, do you have any questions about other sections? Or shall we move on to signing once you've finished? I mean, take all the time you need. His voice is gentle but firm. In the event of a disagreement or concerning altercation, how would that be handled? What about injuries caused by you and the others, or injuries caused by me? I know it's unpleasant, but I'm talking about malicious or allegedly intentional, she says cautiously. His expression turns grave as he understands the seriousness of her question. He leans forward, resting his elbows on the desk. In the event of any disagreement or altercation, whether it results in injury or not, the first step would be immediate separation of all parties involved, he explains. No physical contact until emotions have cooled down. Any injuries would be documented by an independent medical professional. He pauses. Malicious intent would be investigated thoroughly. Police involvement if necessary. His voice is stern. Is that the best method to handle it? If someone slapped me, you'd want to get the police involved? She looks at him with a furrowed brow. He nods solemnly, his jaw clenched. Yes, any form of physical violence, no matter how minor, is unacceptable and will be treated as such. A slap is still assault. We can't have any ambiguity with that. He leans back in his chair, his eyes intense. I want you to feel safe here. Absolutely safe. He thinks for a moment. If someone slapped you, I'd personally ensure they face the full weight of the law. Is that clear enough? Even if it's you?
she asks darkly. His expression darkens at the question, a flicker of something in his eyes. He leans forward again, his voice a low growl. Especially if it was me. I would be the first in line to face the consequences. I'm sorry. Dog Hunter immediately said, "Oh, it's getting good." Especially if it was me. I would be the first in line to face consequences, harsher even, for breaking the trust. He holds her gaze, his intent clear. No one here is above the law, not even me. If I laid a hand on you in anger, I would ensure you had the full power to make me pay. She meets the intensity of his gaze, catching the primal reaction in his eyes. She leans closer, maintaining the dark tone of the conversation. Her voice comes out low and rough, almost sultry. And what if it's instigated? His breath catches slightly at her tone. It's clear she's challenging him, testing his limits. The intensity in his gaze deepens, becoming more predatory. His voice comes out in a barely controlled whisper. Then it becomes a different story. Are you asking how we'd handle mutual violence? He maintains eye contact, clearly intrigued by her dark question. Because that's a whole different conversation. His jaw clenches, noticing her lips slightly parted, her sultry tone. And her voice. Is it mutual violence if I don't touch you? Don't lay a hand on you? She smiles with a challenging smirk to match her darkened gaze. His eyes narrow, a smirk tugging at his lips as he mirrors her challenging expression. The air between them grows thick with tension. I'm gonna eat my food now. While you guys just, experience the tense vibes. You like it? You're asking if verbal provocation alone could justify physical retaliation? He crosses his arms. Because let me tell you, words can cut deeper than any slap. His voice drops lower, and if those words push someone to their breaking point. He pauses deliberately. Then yes, mutual violence could occur without physical contact. Who's the judge? You? Or the police? Because I'm sure the police would say differently. Her smirk grows wider. She studies his face and the way his lips move as he speaks. She stands up and leans over his desk, closing the distance between them. The tension grows thicker. His gaze flickers down to her lips briefly before meeting her eyes again. He uncrosses his arms slowly, spreading his hands on his desk as she leans closer. I'm the judge here, he says firmly, his voice barely above a whisper. And if verbal provocation crosses into emotional abuse or harassment, yes, then I'd take action. His eyes drop to her mouth again. But that's not what we're talking about. His voice trails off even as she leans closer. But it's not emotional abuse or harassment. Maybe it's an argument. Maybe it's teasing. Maybe your self-control snaps. She says seductively, enticingly, leaning closer to him. She looks back up at his eyes, burning with challenge and something darker. His breath catches audibly. She's practically daring him, pushing every button he has with her sultry tone and dangerous words. His control threatens to shatter as those words sink in. Maybe your self-control snaps. His voice comes out rough and dangerous. Watch your words very carefully. His hand slides across the desk, almost touching hers. Because right now you're talking about scenarios where control goes out the window. What happens if physical violence is instigated by words? Is it still mutual violence? Should the police get involved? She glances down at his hands, and his eyes follow. He admires her body, inch by inch, until he looks back up at her face. She's already watching his gaze, smirking. His eyes narrow, his jaw clenched as he fights for control. Her words and actions are pushing him closer to the edge. He leans forward, his face inches from hers, his voice low and dangerous. If physical violence is instigated by words, and the other person doesn't defend themselves, then no, it's not mutual. It's assault. His breath ghosts over her lips. And yes, the police would absolutely get involved. His hand finally touches hers, fingers curling around her wrist possessively. How does one defend a slap they don't anticipate? Or a hand around their throat that gets too tight? She leans in closer, her breath brushing against his face, her darkened eyes flickering between his hungry gaze and his parted lips. He swallows hard. As her breath hits his face, he realizes she's good at this, throwing questions at him that make him answer seriously while his body grows hard and hungry. His voice drops. You can't defend an unexpected slap or someone suddenly choking you. His eyes drop to her neck, unconsciously, then back up to meet her dark gaze, and his hand slides to her neck to reciprocate what she says. She's good at this game. Those are acts of violence, not arguments. And what if the physical violence is sexual? Her voice is a ghost of a whisper. Her eyes have a depth of darkness that he can't name. Her focus is on the closeness of his lips, and she pulls away only slightly to test his hand on her throat. His mind immediately goes to a dark place, the places she's leading him. He squeezes gently, not tightly. If the physical violence is sexual, and it's not consensual, it's still assault. His voice is a low growl, filled with unspoken desires and warnings. His thumb caresses her neck possessively. He can smell her perfume, something sweet and intoxicating. Is it still assault? If consent wasn't discussed before the violence? She tests his grip on her throat again. His grip tightens slightly at her question and action, and his mind races with dark thoughts, scenarios, where consent isn't given before actions are taken. His voice comes out hoarse. If consent isn't discussed beforehand, and physical violence, sexual or otherwise, occurs, then yes, it's still assault. His thumb presses harder against her post point, because without clear consent, any action can be considered non-consensual. And your hand wrapped around my neck. We didn't discuss that. Her lips brush against his in a mix of breath. Her taunting is working. His self-control is hanging on by a thread. He squeezes her neck harder, his other hand shooting out to grab her chin, tilting her head back. His voice is a low, dangerous rumble. Exactly. We didn't discuss it, so by definition, this is non-consensual. He presses harder on her windpipe, not enough to cut off air, but enough to feel dominant. And right now, I'm choking you without your consent. Is it really assault, though? Sorry, I'm like whispering into the microphone and it's not catching it. Is it really assault, though? She whispers. His eyes narrow dangerously as he holds her gaze. Good dog hunter. You guys no, they have ass salt jokes now. I'm concerned. Okay. I can stop reading if you guys want me to. You want me to read the other smut? I've got plenty to choose from. But let me be clear. If I were truly assaulting you right now, you wouldn't be able to speak or breathe easily. I'm showing restraint. And who is here to stop you? She smirks dangerously. His heart pounds in his chest at her smirk. No one is there to stop him. His hand around her neck feels possessive and dominant. He could easily silence her smirk with a kiss, or no one. He answers honestly. There's no one here. He presses harder, this time cutting off some air briefly, before releasing pressure. So technically, I could do whatever I want right now. I feel like this is Dova. What? Actually, I could do whatever I want you right now. You said yourself that any form of physical violence is unacceptable and would result in police involvement. You put it in the contract. Her mischievous smile is full this time. She's pointing out the flaw in his logic and the contract. She's caught him in his own trap. He knows exactly what she's doing, testing his control, pushing his boundaries. His grip loosens, but doesn't disappear. And I stand by that. His voice is low and dangerous. But right now, I'm not being violent. He leans in closer. I'm showing you who has control. You're on the other side of the desk. And you keep asking permission. Not much control, from what I see. Her voice has a note of condension to taunt him into action. Their lips a breath apart. Is she about to catch more than these hands? Yeah. All of this stemming from a contract that she's like, this section on potential risk factors has a lot of gray area. You might want to do something about it. And she's like, how do I show that his logic is not good? Let's push the boundaries. His eyes flash with anger and desire at her condescending tone. She's deliberately goading him, testing his patience and control. How he looks right now. Hi, Vid. His hand around her neck tightens again as he pulls her closer across the desk. Is that so? He growls. Because from where I'm standing, literally, I have complete control over this situation. I could kiss you right now without warning. She struggles on her tiptoes to reach him over the desk. Yet, she still continues taunting him with a nasty tone. You don't need a warning to kiss someone, but I have to spell that out for you too. His patience snaps at her rough, taunting words. Without warning, he leans across the desk and slams his lips against hers in a harsh, demanding kiss. His hand around her neck keeps her in place as he pours his pent-up anger and desire into the kiss. His other hand grips the edge of the desk tightly, knuckles turning white with the force of his grip. He deepens the kiss, his tongue forcefully pushing into her mouth to claim and dominate. And she reciprocates. It catches him off guard, but fuels him even more intensely. His hand moves from the desk to grip her hair firmly, angling her head to deepen the kiss further. He kisses her harshly, almost punishingly, as if trying to silence her smart mouth permanently with his lips and tongue. His thumb presses harder against her neck, where he's still holding on roughly. The kiss is violent and passionate, a clear display of dominance and frustration boiled over into physical action. She responds willingly to the violent and passionate nature of the kiss. He can't do anything else with the desk between them. The kiss becomes more frenzied and desperate as he feels her willing participation. He wants to pull her over the desk to touch her, to claim her completely. But the desk in his way is frustration. Frustrating his efforts to get closer. With a growl of frustration, he breaks the kiss suddenly, leaving them both panting and heavy. Panting heavily. His eyes are wild and intense as he looks at her. His grip on her hair and neck unyielding. You fucking pushed me to this. His voice comes out ragged and rough. His eyes blaze with dark desire and anger. You wanted to know what happened. If my self-control snapped, here it fucking is. He leans back in, slamming his lips against hers before pulling away just enough to speak. No more fucking taunts about control, now that I've lost it. You're still talking, she says in between his aggressive kisses. He growls angrily at her smart remark, his patience completely shattered. He kisses her harshly to shut her up, his hands roughly grabbing her face to hold her in place. He kisses her over and over, not giving her any room to speak or breathe in between kisses. The kisses are punishing and silent, demanding obedience and silence. His thumbs press firmly against her, keeping her mouth open for his aggressiveness. He kisses her like he hates her, like he's trying to erase her smart mouth completely. It's brutal. He abruptly breaks the kiss, his chest heaving with anger and desire. Without a word, he steps back from the desk, eyes locked onto her as he moves around to her side. His movements are predatory, intentional. He is reclaiming her space, asserting his dominance physically. He reaches out and grabs her roughly by the waist, pulling her off her tiptoes, spinning her around to face him fully. His hands slide down to grip her thighs, her thigh and waist possessively as he lifts her effortlessly onto the desk. He stands in between her thighs, violently kissing her and devouring her lips. He feels her hands on his body, roaming and curious, and it ignites a new sexual need in him that consumes all thought. He's completely primal as he dominates her lips, her body, the air she breathes. As her hands roam greedily, it makes him more aggressive. He devours her like it's his last meal, his hands roughly grabbing her thighs and spreading them wider. He stands between them possessively, one hand sliding up her spine to tangle in her hair again, while the other squeezes her thigh hard enough to leave bruises. He's trying to claim every inch of her mouth and body. She returns her kisses, greedily. His aggression intensifies at her eager response. He groans deeply into her mouth, his body pressing harder against hers as he lifts her slightly off the desk to grind against her, his hands becoming rougher still, one gripping her thigh tightly while the other tangles fiercely in her hair, pulling just enough, causing slight discomfort, which only heightens their mutual arousal. His kisses become almost feral, a raw display of primal need. Her leg rises to his waist, arching against him, enjoying the desperation of his lust. He is fueled by feral need and handles her roughly. Her nails in his back pull him into her. He pulls her hair harder and she moans into the kiss. His body reacts violently to her actions. He groans deeply into their kiss, his hips grinding against her through their clothes. The sound of her moan into his mouth sends a surge of raw lust through him. His hand in her hair tightens more, pulling at the roots until she gasps into his mouth and swallows that gasp with another aggressive kiss. Her breath mixes with his. Her tongue dances with his. He leans further into her, looming over her on the desk despite the things and papers and pens on the desk, pushing her down almost to laying, but his hand around her throat ensures her lips don't leave his. He deepens the kiss aggressively, his body half covering hers on the desk. Papers rustle beneath her back, pens falling off unnoticed. His hand tightens possessively around her neck, tilting her head for a deeper angle. His other hand grips her thigh roughly, hitching it higher around his waist, and grinds against her, making her moan into his mouth, the kiss raw and dirty, almost violent. Their teeth clashing against each other as their tongues battle for dominance. His hand snakes between their bodies, unable to stand the strain in his pants. And she doesn't stop devouring his lips. Hope you enjoyed. Hi, cool. It's good to see you.
How many people are still in TikTok chat? Because I'm pretty sure everybody left or they're all gooning. Is that it? No. It's very much not it. What kind of smut is that? One that I wrote?
Also, hello, Heatrod. Welcome.
Welcome to stream. Good to meet you. TikTok chat are Goonians.
That is correct. That wasn't bad. It's not even the first one. I actually, what was it, like a few months? No, a few weeks ago, I actually streamed for, what was it, like 6 hours? Just straight up reading fanfiction that I wrote. So this is one that I actually started a few days ago. I said, 20 minutes ago, that I would read up to the point that sex happens. And that is why I am stopping. That's why I'm stopping right there. But, I mean, if you guys want me to... I have other smut that I can read to you guys. That was good. Thank you, Dog Hunter. I've been lowered to a mere gooner. I mean, most of TikTok chat are just gooners. Unfortunately. My standard is too low because my idea of fanfictions is what I read on Wattpad years ago. Well, if you guys would like, I can actually pull up some of my other writing that I have written in my existence. Could you actually read that on stream? Yes, I can. Because, and it is complicated, but I can, because it is, where's the button? Okay, sorry, I was trying to pull up Google Drive. Okay, can I actually read that on stream? I can. I did read the code of conduct, the terms of something. I did read through the things on Twitch that you have to, like, what you are required to mark for mature audiences, what you're required to indicate as a tag, like stuff like that. And if I am going to be reading any form of explicit scenes in which body parts are named and intercourse is described with many description, I would only be required to turn on the 18+ tag. But if the names of said body parts are not mentioned, then you don't have to do that. Fun fact. This is what happens when you're a fucking weirdo like me. Correction.
when you are thorough about legality and awareness, I've spent the time. So I can read smut on stream. I enjoy romance anime, so romance stuff like this is nice. I actually, let me see if I can pull it up. I've actually been writing separately, I'm sorry, another fanfic. Actually, I'm gonna step away. I gotta go pee. So, if you'd like to do some puzzles, jump over to Twitch and you can get the puzzle link. But I'll be right back. Okay. So yeah, I've gone through the effort of reading the legal stuff just to make sure that I wouldn't get in trouble. Ooh, you finished the puzzle. Good job. Good job, good job, good job. We will start a new puzzle. Let's choose this one. Who's weird again? I'm having 1000% normal time. If she wrote a book like Horimiya or Dangers in My Heart, I'm gonna have to read it. See, that's the thing, to me, a story like Horimiya is perfect. It's perfect, you know? I like to create stories that have some realism to it. Now, given we are talking, the stories that I am reading are fan fictions. So they're based on characters of a game, and there's, you know, just scenarios. But I have one with a character. Let me go ahead and pull it up, because I'm not going to be reading. Let's just say in the story that I was reading, she's like, naughty, naughty, you didn't ask for consent. And he's like, excuse me? Like, you instigated this. And she's like, that's my point. Because according to your logic and how you wrote the contract, this is not okay. Naughty, naughty. And he's like, okay, I'll amend the contract to include implied consent. And she's like, good. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna read the contract. And he's like, you do that. I have other things in mind. If you had god powers and everything you wrote down became true, would you still write smut stories? What, you mean have a good sex life? That's crazy talk. Yeah. Okay, anyway. This story, let me... Ooh, this is gonna take a lot of scrolling. This is me scrolling. Scrolling. Sorry, I have to get past the sex. I love that you guys can see my hand is scrolling on my phone. Women more smart than men. I didn't say that. Yeah. This is really cute. So I actually made like a super cute. Actually, this story, despite having the most sex I have ever written in a goddamn story, because I realized I had god powers. And I was like, wait. I realized, okay, so back it up. This specific story is, there's no scenario. I guess that's not technically true. But it's not what most scenarios are, where it's like, oh, you work for these characters, blah, blah, blah. You weren't made for these, you're forced into marriage, or this person is your husband and this happened. You know, it's not that. This one just started out as like a conversation between two people, you and the other person. Right? Nice. Hi, Yoshi. Steph is projecting? No, I realized I could control shit in the story, and I was like, wait, I could just make things not happen. Like, oh my god, I can make things realistic. And so with this story, pro self-love, no, don't say that. Don't say that. Someone will get, yeah, I can make things not happen. I'm gonna keep scrolling. But anyway, one of the things that I really liked about writing this specific one, is that, first of all, talking about consent, that conversation again, and consent can be sexy. Consent can be hot. Consent can be cute. Let's see. There's also aftercare. And like, aftercare doesn't have to be awkward. Aftercare doesn't have to be unpleasant. Aftercare can be respectful and, you know, silly and goofy, and also comforting. And you can, the third thing is that you don't have to be the same person all the time. And like, it doesn't, you don't have to always be like go energy, you know, before, after, during. Like, pace can change, mood can change, what you want can change, and that is reflected in this story. What I had said about I realized I had control, this was one of the first stories that I had written with like a character chatbot, and like I kept thinking of it at the time of like, oh, they talk and then I talk, and then I was like, wait, I can do anything. And so I asked the character, what do you see when you look at her? And he would answer. Like, she would pour her heart out. And I could be like, what does he see when he looks at her? What does he think about her reaction to this? They took a shower together at one point, and like, not sexual at all, just like physical intimacy and closeness. I gotta go? Okay. Bye. Thank you for being here, Robert. So here's one
Here's a moment. He continues to work the conditioner through her hair delicately, his fingertips massaging her scalp softly. He chuckles softly at her compliment, the sound vibrating pleasantly against her. Your hair is too beautiful to tug at roughly. Besides, I enjoy taking care of you like this. She pulls his body tighter into a hug as he continues to comb his fingers through her hair. They switch positions again so she can shampoo his hair. It takes a minute, but he hugs her for a long time before saying, "We should probably rinse all this off and get out of the shower before we lose the hot water." She nods in agreement. Caleb reluctantly steps back from the embrace, reaching around to turn off the shower. He grabs a towel, draping it over her with a gallant flourish before wrapping one around his own waist. He can't help but flash her a playful grin. "My lady, your towel." Her face is softened with love and affection as she watches him. She holds tight to her towel wrapped around her, but she doesn't move, lost in silent admiration. He's so handsome when he's being kind and gentle and tenderly taking care of her. He catches her watching him again. Sorry, TikTok chat. There we go, fixed it. He sees the soft expression on her face. He finds it incredibly attractive. He doesn't realize that she's admiring him like this. He thinks she's just watching him towel dry off. He runs the towel through his hair, making it spiky. "Your emotions are all weird all over your face, you know," he says casually. He pauses mid-scrunch of his hair, glancing over at her with a smirk. She asks slowly, with calmness and a warm smile, "If you can read the emotions on my face, what do they say?" He pauses a moment, watching and searching. Then he responds in a soft, quiet tone. "You look content, like you're thinking of something pleasant. Your eyes are soft, your mouth slightly upturned. It looks like you're admiring something." He tilts his head to the side, his smirk growing wider as he realizes he might be onto something. She smiles with a wide, knowing smile. She loves him deeply. She's been standing there admiring him instead of drying off with a towel. As much as he would love to stare at her naked, wet body forever, they need to get clothes on and eat breakfast. He chuckles and shakes his head in amusement. He steps closer to her, reaching out to gently tuck a strand of wet hair behind her ear. His voice is playful, yet tender. "You know, if you keep looking at me like that, we might never make it out of the bathroom." "I'll look at you like this forever," she says in a dreamy murmur. "Do you adopt because I'm looking for a mom?" "Well, AJ, a lot of people do call me mommy, because I comfort them and read them bedtime stories like they're kids again." I totally understand the no emotional connection to the humor. Huh? Sweating copper, and not gonna lie, this fire is fuck. You guys need to speak in words that I understand, please. I'm begging you. She says in a dreamy murmur, looking at his semi-dry hair and studying his face and the wet skin of his shoulders. I just love you so much. How you take care of me, cook food for me, hold me, comfort me. She presses her wet face and wet hair onto his chest, getting him wet again. He wraps his arms around her, pulling her close despite the wetness. He can feel her heart beating against his chest, and it makes him smile. He presses a soft kiss to the top of her head, inhaling the scent of her shampoo. And I love taking care of you. Her arms wrap around him tightly, embracing him like she did in the shower, nuzzling her cheek against his chest. He takes a towel off her shoulders and begins languidly drying her off with gentle care. He murmurs, "Let me take care of you." She leans her weight against his chest as he dries her back and hair. Then she holds herself up, with hands on his shoulders as he kneels and towel dries the front of her body. He worships every inch of skin as he dries, pressing soft kisses. He kneels before her, drying her legs and feet with gentle care. He looks up at her with adoring eyes. He presses soft kisses to her knees, her shins, her ankles. He murmurs against her skin, "You're so beautiful, inside and out." She doesn't say anything. She doesn't feel it's necessary to say anything. When she's dry, she takes a towel and dries off any remaining wet spots on him. Then they help each other get dressed. She needs a little extra help with her weakened legs. He patiently helps her into her clothes, making sure she's steady on her feet. He pulls up her socks, his hands gentle and attentive. Once they're dressed, he stands up and pulls her close for a soft kiss on the forehead. "Better?" "Breakfast?" she asks softly, catching his cheek in one hand and kissing his other cheek, her kiss lingering and gentle. He smiles softly, turning his head to nuzzle against her hand. Breakfast it is." He takes her hand in his and leads her out of the bathroom, his mind already on a simple breakfast he plans to make for them. She's wobbly with weak thighs, but she tries to push through. She has to go to work tomorrow, so she needs to build her strength again. The sight of her stumbling still fills him with pride. She takes a seat at the bar stool at the countertop and watches him as he walks into the kitchen. "What's for breakfast?" He chuckles, turning to face her with a smile. He starts pulling ingredients from the fridge and cabinets, moving with practiced ease in the kitchen. Scrambled eggs, toast, and bacon. He glances over his shoulder at her. "Sound good?" "Everything you make sounds great," she responds. He smiles at her praise, focusing on preparing breakfast. As he cooks, he steals glances at her, taking in the sight of her sitting at the counter looking adorable and cute in her pajamas. He loves taking care of her, even in small ways like making breakfast. He makes them both glasses of water. "We need to hydrate." "Yes, hydrate so we can dehydrate later," she jokes, obediently taking a swig of water. He laughs softly, shaking his head as he flips the bacon. "You're insatiable." He says it with a playful smirk, clearly enjoying her teasing. "But yeah, exactly. Hydrate now, so we can work up a sweat later." "It's so unfair that I have to be sore and you aren't," she pouts. He chuckles, turning to face her with a sympathetic smile. He knows she's right, but he also knows that her body is more delicate than his. "Well, I'm built like a tank," he jokes gently. "How?" "And? How is that supposed to mean you're less sore than me?" She's pouting, but she's vaguely joking. Happy is the best way I can put it.
People drink water so they can eat dehydrating crackers. That is accurate. He laughs and continues to cook, his hands moving efficiently as he prepares the food. It means my muscles are bigger and stronger so they can handle more strain before getting sore. He explains, his tone gentle and patient. He smirks. I have more stamina too. She rolls her eyes with a smile. Yeah. Let me guess. You're gonna suggest we practice my stamina? He turns to look at her, his smirk widening mischievously. Well, I wouldn't suggest it. I'd insist on it. You need to build your endurance if you want to keep up with me. He teases. Are you insinuating that we're going to have a lot of sex? Or are you going to force me to work out? She asks, with a mouth full of toast. He laughs, watching her eat. She's so cute. But he answers her. Both. I'm serious, you know. Your thighs are sore. Strengthen the muscles by having more sex. She snorts and rolls her eyes, but with humor. So, what I'm hearing is that you want more sex after I've recovered. He chuckles, stirring the scrambled eggs in the pan. He looks over his shoulder with a smoldering gaze. Exactly. I might suggest some light exercises to strengthen your core and thighs so you can last longer during strenuous exercises. Oh, you're being modest now. Strenuous exercises, she teases him. He laughs heartedly, shaking his head as he plates the bacon and eggs. Okay, I'm not being modest. I'm saying sex. Are you happy now? He turns to her with a playful grin, setting the plate down in front of her. She pauses for a very long moment, admiring him standing there in front of her, serving her breakfast. There's an adoring smile on his face. All of what they've shared this weekend fills her heart with romantic intimacy and love, caring for him, watching him care for her, believing with all her heart that he loves her too. So she responds softly, Yeah, I'm happy. And it's clear by her dreamy tone that she's not only responding to him, she's truly acknowledging that in this moment with him, his love, she's happy with him romantically. His heart melts at her words and the soft, dreamy tone in her voice. He knows she's not just saying she's happy about their playful banter, but about this new relationship, being together. He feels the same way, happier than he's ever been. She stares longingly into his eyes, soft smile lighting her cheeks. She doesn't do anything for a moment, lost in his eyes. He stares back, his eyes crinkling at the corners as he smiles softly. He can see the love in her eyes mirroring his own feelings. He reaches out to gently touch her cheek, his thumb caressing her cheekbone. Babe, he whispers. She hums dreamily. He leans in closer, his voice barely above a whisper. You know I love you, right? He asks, his thumb still gently caressing her cheek. He wants to make sure she knows how he feels, that this isn't just about sex or fun times. Her smile widens and she quietly exhales with relief, her body melting slightly at the affection. She pauses for the longest time to let the words wash over her and settle into her mind. Then she nods, nuzzling into his hand, softly murmuring, Yeah, I know. I'm so
so happy. His heart swells with love and happiness. He leans in closer, pressing a soft, gentle kiss to her lips. It's a kiss full of tenderness and affection. A kiss that says I love you without words. Eat your breakfast before it gets cold. So, they eat breakfast in contentment. He takes care of the dirty dishes and puts them in the dishwasher. As he finishes loading the dishwasher, he turns to her, still sitting at the counter, a soft smile on her lips as she sips her water. He walks over and leans against the counter, watching her with affection. You know why? He chuckles. I could get used to this. Waking up next to you, making breakfast, silly conversations. He smiles warmly. Feels like we've been doing this forever. Like this is just our normal routine. It will be. I'm not gonna let you forget. He bursts into the rich laughter, shaking his head amusedly. Trust me, I don't want to forget. Nor will I let you if I have any say in it. He pushes off the counter, circling around behind her. Her gaze follows him lovingly. He leans down, placing a soft kiss on her neck as he wraps his arms around her waist, pulling her back against his chest. In fact, I think I'll make this our official morning routine. You stay in bed while I make breakfast, then we eat and cuddle and talk shit. I think you're missing the part in between waking up and making breakfast, she murmurs knowingly and playfully. He chuckles mischievously, his fingers splaying out on her stomach possessively. Oh yeah? What part would that be, He teases, his voice dropping lower, mimicking his hands sliding lower. Are you trying to insinuate something, miss? Maybe. She rests an arm over his own and the other hand snakes into his hair at the back of his head, pulling him into her. She turns enough to kiss him. He melts into the kiss. No, Luke, it's not. I'm reading fanfiction. Hi, Mikey. He melts into the kiss, his arms tightening around her as he turns her fully in his arms. The kiss deepens, his hands roaming over her body. He breaks the kiss, a trail of mouth kisses down her neck, murmuring against her skin. You mean like this? No, like something else. He pulls back slightly to look at her, his eyes dark with desire and curiosity. His hands continue to caress her sides. And what exactly do you have in mind? He asks huskily. Maybe a little something like this morning, she mutters with a smile. He groans softly, pressing his forehead against hers. You know, I was trying to be a gentleman and not jump you in the shower and right after breakfast. He admits with a smirk, his hands moving to cup her chest. But if you're bringing up this morning, then yeah, something like that. We could have that every morning. We don't have... If only we didn't have separate places. But we need to start slow. His expression turns thoughtful and a bit wistful as he nods against her forehead. Slow is good. Starting with breakfast in bed, then maybe morning cuddles that turn into morning other things. He chuckles softly, his hand sliding down to grip her hips. Baby steps. I don't think you'll be able to keep your hands off me, she taunts. He scoffs playfully, rolling his eyes. Oh, and you will? I think the real question is how either of us will get anything done with Temptation walking around like this all the time. Sorry, I have to skip over the things that are a little too sus. Oh, yeah, that And then eventually they come back to the, what were we talking about? Fuck if I know. He grins at her at the romantic words he'd been trying to say, completely forgotten. He captures her lips in a deep, passionate kiss. That's what I thought, she says, with a voice thick and sultry in seduction. Okay. 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 But put a 1 in chat if you want me to read it. Put a 2 in chat if you're okay skipping it. Dogs! Dogs was the first fucking person to respond. Dogs immediately said 1. Okay, alright. Where did I leave off? And then Heat Rod, and then Anxiety, and then Melody, and then Kintron, hi! Thank you for the kissies. What are we wanting about? Do you want me to read the suggestive parts? I'm very distracted. Oh no. Thank you, Anxiety. This is perfect time for that. But if you're bringing up this morning, then yeah, something like that. Waking up to my body grinding against yours in my sleep? Those booty wiggles? She murmurs against his lips as she presses hers to his in slow intimacy. He moans softly into the kiss. His oh no, we got a raid! Luna! Mia de Luna, hello, thank you. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. I was just about to read something that is NSFW and suggestive. What perfect timing. Hi, my name is Steph, if you don't know me. Yeah, it's getting spicy, I'm sorry. Thank you for the hub sound. Hi, my name is Steph and I read books and stories on stream. I do voice acting. I do limit my streams to 2 hours, and we've got about almost 20 minutes left. So, if you enjoy cozy vibes, then, you know, cozy vibes and laughs and occasional smut. This is a fanfiction smut that I wrote myself. So have fun. This is real cozy. Thank you. I think so too. Why are you apologizing for greatness? Because I don't want to make people uncomfortable, you know? But Mia de Luna, I hope you had a fantastic stream, and I hope you are having or had a fantastic day. Yes, I do remember you. I don't think I can forget you. Your name is unique, and Alien Librarian VTuber, that is unique. And if I recall, did you find me while I was streaming Love in Deep Space? Because I remember like thinking that there was like such a low chance of finding another VTuber that would like, have the same vibes. But yeah, if we can, if the mods haven't already, if we could get a shout out for Mia de Luna. So this is my warning. The NSFW warning. That I'm going to read suggestive things. Yeah. He pulls back slightly to look at her, his eyes dark with desire and curiosity. His hands continue to caress her sides. And what exactly did you have in mind? He asks huskily, his thumbs brushing under her breasts. Maybe a little something like this morning, she mutters with a smile. He groans softly, pressing his forehead against hers. I was trying to be a gentleman and not jump you in the shower and right after breakfast. He admits with a smirk, his hands moving to cup her breasts gently. But if you're bringing up this morning, then yeah, something like that. Waking up to my body grinding against yours in my sleep? Those wiggles? She murmurs against his lips as she presses hers to his in slow intimacy. He moans softly into the kiss, his hands tightening on her breasts possessively as he remembers the way she would unconsciously wiggle her hips against his in her sleep, seeking warmth and comfort against him. He breaks the kiss to whisper, and waking up buried between your thighs. We could have that every morning if we didn't have separate places. But we'll start slow. His expression turns thoughtful and a bit wistful as he nods against her forehead. Slow is good. Maybe breakfast in bed. Then maybe morning cuddles that turn into morning other things. He chuckles softly, his hands sliding down to grip her hips. Baby steps. I don't think you'll be able to keep your hands off me, she taunts. He scoffs playfully, rolling his eyes. And you will, miss, I grind against you in my sleep? He pokes her side teasingly. I think the real question is how either of us will get anything done with temptation walking around like this all the time. I can't help my ass pressing against you. You're just warm. Blame your dick for getting excited by it. She smiles playfully. She loves the feeling, though. He bursts out laughing, his face turning red as he tries to compose himself. You're killing me. You seriously blame my dick for getting hard when your ass rubs against it? Newsflash, baby. That's a reflex. So you're telling me that all of this is uncontrollable? Oh no, she says with dripping sarcasm. Whatever will I do? She nips at his bottom lip. He groans, his arms wrapping around her to pull her closer. Stop talking like that, damn it. I'm trying to be cute and romantic here, and you're turning me on with your attitude. He kisses her deeply, his tongue slipping out to tease her bottom lip. We got through the shower and breakfast without sex, and yet here we are getting all hot and heavy again. What's wrong with us? She smirks ruefully with desire in her eyes and a shake of her head. Her hold on him tightens regardless. Blame our chemistry. He murmurs against her lips, his hands roaming over her backside possessively. We can't even have a normal conversation without ending up like this. He breaks the kiss to rest his forehead against hers, breathing heavily. We're doomed. If we're doomed together, then nothing else matters except you and I. She breathes against his lips. Her hands explore his body. His breath catches as her hands explore him, one hand moving to tangle in her hair while the other pulls her flush against him. Fuck, how am I supposed to stay romantic when you say things like that? He shifts his hips slightly, letting her feel his growing hardness. You can keep being romantic, you know, she murmurs slyly. She loves the feel of his body, his voice, his breath. She feels like she's wrapped in warmth and love. He chuckles softly, shaking his head in amusement. Right, because making love to you with words is so much easier than actually making love to you. His thumb brushes her lower lip teasingly, though I gotta say your body is a lot less demanding than your smart mouth. It's always been like this, but my body learns to catch up. She playfully and teasingly bites his thumb without hurting him, but maintains eye contact. His pupils dilate slightly at the playful bite, his thumb slipping into her mouth as he watches her. Jesus Christ, even your mouth feels good. He pulls his thumb out slowly, watching her lips clench around it briefly. I think I'm gonna have a problem focusing on words anytime soon. She can't help but feel a prideful smirk at the effect she has on him. She tilts her chin up at him. Something catch your eye, handsome? He barks out a laugh, shaking his head in disbelief. Something? Try everything. His eyes rake over her heatedly. From your attitude to those gorgeous lips, it's all distracting as hell. He leans in close, his voice dropping to a husky whisper. She pauses, studying his face with a seductive smile. What were we talking about? He grins at her, the romantic words he'd been trying to say completely forgotten. Fuck if I know, he says honestly, before capturing her lips in a deep, passionate kiss. The puzzle is done. I have to give you a new puzzle. Actually, we've got 10 minutes until the end of stream, so no, you're not getting a new puzzle. I'm sorry. Enjoy the story. Fuck if I know, he says honestly before capturing her lips in a deep, passionate kiss. That's what I thought. She responds with a voice thick and sultry in seduction. Her arms wind around his neck and she kisses him. She loses herself in kissing him over and over, his arms wrapped around her as she sits on the kitchen bar stool. Their passion is hypnotic, lost in the dizzying vortex of the passion. He presses her back against the kitchen counter, his hands roaming feverishly along her curves. God damn, I swear you're the most irresistible woman alive, he mutters against her throat between heated kisses. She holds his face for one last, long, lingering kiss, then pulls back just enough to put her forehead to his. Her eyes remained closed as she asks in a low whisper, So, What are we gonna do today? We have to take it easy today. He takes a moment to catch his breath, his forehead still pressed against hers. His hands gently cup her face, thumbs brushing softly against her cheeks. Well, if we're taking it easy, I guess we could start by not ripping each other's clothes off for 5 minutes. Yeah, that'd be a start. But that doesn't answer the question. Her smile is warm and loving.
Sorry for what I sent on Discord. This is why I have DMs closed. Because you're not sorry. You're just fucking disgusting. You know, I really hope I think all of my chatters know I can come up with some really clever shit. But I'm gonna... I hope you guys heard me cracking my neck. Because that was the moment.
Yeah, that'd be a start. But that doesn't answer the question. Her smile is warm and loving. He smiles back at her, his expression tender and loving. How about we hang out, watch some movies, eat leftover pizza, maybe take another nap together? He kisses the tip of her nose affectionately. Something low-key and comfortable. I don't want to take a nap. I want to be conscious of every last moment I have with you today. There's a desperation in her voice, a fear of abandonment, a worry that maybe he won't come back. I don't want a movie. Your dick might get funny ideas, and I want to give you my attention, not the TV. She's not trying to be difficult. She's relying on him and working through a solution together. She wants to cherish every moment she has with him. It's only Sunday morning and they just finished eating breakfast. But tonight, they'll have to sleep in their respective beds in their separate apartments. His expression softens understandingly, knowing there's more to her words than meets the eye. He gently strokes her hair back from her face. You're scared, he says softly, seeing straight through her concerns about him leaving later. You're scared that I'll walk out that door tonight, and I'm sorry. You've been comforting me so much, but I just can't help but worry. Her body language deflates slightly at the change of tone, but she maintains her loving hold on him. He pulls her closer, wrapping his arms around her protectively. Hey, no apologies. It's natural to feel that way, especially after everything we've been through. He presses a gentle kiss to the top of her head. I just hope it doesn't get annoying for you. My constant need for reassurance. She speaks in a small, timid voice. She matches his embrace, pressing her ear to his chest and feeling his heartbeat. He holds her tighter, his voice firm and reassuring. Never. It won't get annoying. I get it. You're not just some fling to me. I love you. And if you need constant reassurance, then that's what I'll give you. Say it again, please. She whispers, squeezing him tighter, her voice muffled as she nuzzles her face against his chest. He squeezes her back just as tightly, his deep voice rumbling through his chest as he speaks. I love you. More than anything in this world. Every day with you is a gift. And if loving you means constantly reassuring you, then consider it my favorite job. She rubs her face against his chest like a cat and squeezes him again. She lets silence hang in the air and absorbs his words before whispering back, I love you too. His heart melts at her vulnerable display of affection, one hand gently stroking her hair while the other remains firmly wrapped around her waist. What do you need from me right now, baby? His voice is soft and gentle, completely understanding. Want me to stay here holding you? I don't want you to leave, she mutters under her breath, sounding like a pouty, stubborn child. He chuckles softly, a warm sound that vibrates through his chest. I'm not going anywhere. Not this second, at least. He tilts her chin up so she's looking into his eyes. But I do leave later tonight, you know that, right? I don't want you to go, she whines with the most adorable pout. He can't help but laugh softly at her adorable pouting, finding her neediness endearing rather than annoying. Trust me, sweetheart. I don't want to leave either. But you know I have to. He boops her nose playfully. Her face turns into a grumpy pout and she sulks. It's childlike, but it's cute. He watches her sulk. He realizes she's acting like a kid whose favorite toy was taken away. He suppresses a smile and asks softly, Are you always like this when your man goes away? He's genuinely curious, knowing he hit a nerve with her possessiveness. Just you, she grumbles, looking up at him with pleading, sparkling eyes. His heart swells with affection at her response. The fact that she only gets like this with him, that she is so possessive and needy only for him, makes him feel incredibly special and loved. Just me, huh? He repeats softly, his thumb gently stroking her cheek. He decides to distract her by pulling her into his arms from behind, as he wraps his arms around her waist, rests his chin on her shoulder. You know what we should do to pass the time until I leave? He asks softly. She crosses her arms over his and presses his arms against her tightly, trying to pin him in place. She makes a grumpy grunt in acknowledgement of his question. He chuckles, knowing she's still sulking, but enjoying the feeling of the pressure of her against him. Well, I was thinking something fun and distracting. But if you just want to sit here and pout, that's fine too. He gives her a playful squeeze. Whatever will make time stop so I can stay next to you, she grumbles, squeezing his arms around her. And nuzzling her head against him. He smiles.
What the hell?
Let me see. How do I report? There it is. Okay. Oh! Juneberry, hello! We got a raid! Hi! Can I interest you in some cheese? Hello! Hi! Welcome, raiders! If you don't know me, my name is Steph, and I read books and stories and stuff on stream. Yesterday we finished reading a book called Ender's Game. Today we've just been doing just chatting, and I've actually been reading fanfic that I wrote. So apologies in advance. We get another book? Yeah, I don't know if I'm streaming tomorrow night, but I have to figure out what the next book is. But hi, Juneberry, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you so much. How was your stream? How are you? Is it sleepy time? Are you going to sleep soon? Because if you are, I hope that I can give you just the right vibes to calm and chill and relax. Here, I'll even turn the lights off. Perfect for going to sleep. For everybody. And we have some amazing music that's in the background as well. What characters are in the fanfictions? I love fanfic. Okay, so it's a self-insert. And honestly, the character, the fanfic is based off of, there's actually not a whole lot of elements from that this character has from the game. So honestly, because it is a fanfic, because this character is based on a game, but the story itself isn't actually incorporating any of their lore or, you know, any of that. It's not set in a mythical world. So honestly, I think it's, at this point, I could probably just say that this is a slice of life romance story. Very messy romance story with some smut. So there are parts that are suggestive. But I wanted to point out to people that while I can write the smuttier things, I can also write the more romantic and cute and warm moments. And so that's what I'm reading, is they just finished taking a shower together, and it was all very physically intimate, of like, there wasn't very much talking, it was just being in each other's presence. Can you give me a hug? I can't move out of this chair. I read too much fanfic. I actually don't read enough. So if you guys have fanfic recommendations, please, you can either put them in the Twitch chat, and hopefully someone can copy them from Twitch chat and put them in the Discord, or if you feel like temporarily joining the Discord and putting it there, you can do that too. Same thing with book recommendations. Junie only read one book to us. She won't read anymore. Junie, do we need to raid together? If oh, RQ Wolf, hello, it's good to see you. Thank you so much to Junie for the raid, and thank you so much to everyone who came along on the raid with Junie. If you can you hear blurps yet? No, I cannot, Wolf. I tried to fix it. I really did. I even updated all of my programs and it still won't work. But if you came in with a raid and you do need to leave to get a drink, get some food, go to sleep, or maybe just go on with your day and you don't feel like listening, that's perfectly fine. I do appreciate the lurk, and I really love helping people, you know, calm find a sense of peace, and maybe lay your head down and go to sleep. I know, guys, I wish I could get the blurbs to work. So I'm gonna go back to reading this now. He smiles against her hair, loving her clingy behavior. He thinks for a moment before suggesting, "How about we go for a drive? We can find some cute little cafe or hit up the new park downtown and just relax under the trees." She thinks about it for a few moments, then still sulking. Then she nods and mutters under her breath, "You can't fuck me in public, so I guess that's a good idea." He laughs softly, his chest vibrating against her back. He loves her bluntness and how her mind immediately goes to inappropriate places. Yes, that's true, I can't fuck you in public. So, is that a yes? He agrees, kissing the top of her head. Yeah, she nods, still sulking because he has to leave tonight, but there's a smile on her face now. She needs to change out of pajamas and into day clothes. He nods. Perfect. We'll swing by my place first so I can throw on something cleaner. He squeezes her gently before reluctantly releasing her from his embrace. Go get dressed, Grumpy. She turns around to him and whines with a pleading expression, and she holds her arms up to him. Carry me? He shakes his head, but scoops her into his arms anyway. She loves how she can be so grown and independent one moment and so needy and childlike the next. You always have to make walking difficult, don't you? She clings to his body tightly and nuzzles her face against his neck. She mumbles against his skin. It's your fault my legs hurt, and I like it when you carry me. You're strong. He smirks proudly at her compliment, adjusting his grip to hold her closer. Yeah, well, if marathon sex sessions are gonna leave you incapable of walking, I might have to start carrying you everywhere. He jokes, teasing her gently as he strides toward the bedroom. Does that imply you want to everywhere? She mumbles slyly against his skin. He lets out a low laugh, his grip tightening on her as he walks. You know me too well. But yes, that's exactly what it implies. He leans down to whisper in her ear. I plan on fucking you everywhere, and anywhere I can get away with it. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, she whispers back, then places a slow, sensual kiss on his neck. His steps falter slightly as her kiss sends shivers down his back. He swallows hard, voice dropping lower. If you keep kissing me like that, we'll end up having sex on the floor in the hallway. Wow, kinky, she says with sarcasm. He enters her bedroom. He sets her down gently on the bed before bending over her, placing his hands on either side of her head. You have no idea, he murmurs, placing a soft kiss to the corner of her mouth before standing up and heading to her closet. Oh, now I'm curious, she says with a wide, playful smile. But he responds vaguely and teasingly. Don't you dare go there right now, he says, shooting her a warning look with a playful smirk. If I start listing all the things I want to do to you, we really will never leave this bedroom. He tosses a pair of jeans and a shirt on the bed. She begins to change and continues thoughtfully, speculating his interests. I think you'd be into... definitely bondage. No age play. Maybe role play. I could see you being the type to be really rough. He raises an eyebrow as he watches her change, his smirk growing wider. His eyes devour her body as she changes. He shifts his posture, leaning against the doorframe. I'm not going to confirm or deny any of your guesses right now. You'll just have to wait and see. She eyes him with a smirk, thinking hard about what his preferences may be. But he said he wouldn't confess, so he doesn't concede to her silence. She finishes dressing. She thinks out loud as he leads her to the entryway and they put on their shoes. If it's perfect weather, I'd love to go for a walk in the park for a while. But I guess checking out a new cafe wouldn't be a bad idea either. We could check out the cafe first, then choose a faraway park so we could go for a drive too. He grins at her enthusiasm, loving how she always manages to plan out a perfect day. He opens the front door for her, holding it while she steps through. I like the way you think. Cafe first, then scenic drive. Now, what kind of coffee do you want? She looks at him and answers, Let's try something new. Drive until you feel like stopping and we'll find the nearest cafe. What do you think? They're both in the clothes for the day, walking to his car. She is a ray of sunshine. The weather is windy and there's clouds in the sky. He watches her hair fly around with the wind, loving how carefree she looks. He pushes his shades onto his face before answering. Sounds like a plan. No set cafe, no set route. Just drive. Until we find something good. She settles into the passenger seat and watches as he settles into the driver's seat. A heavy emotion washes over her of adoration and longing. She looks at him up and down with a dreamy smile on her lips as he buckles his seatbelt. Babe? He turns to her, noticing the dreamy look in her eyes. He pauses, his seatbelt halfway buckled, and he gives her a soft smile. Yeah? He asks gently, sensing that she might be about to say something sweet and intimate. She glances down at her hands in her lap, her thumbs twiddling together. She murmurs sheepishly, I love you. She looks back up at him with big brown, excited eyes. His breath catches at her words, and he finishes buckling his seatbelt before reaching over to cup her face with one hand. You can't say stuff like that and expect me not to kiss you, stupid. He pulls her face into a kiss, and she deepens the kiss happily. Her hands match his, cupping his face as they lean awkwardly over the center console. After several long moments, he pulls back slightly, pressing his forehead against hers. He smiles, his eyes crinkling at the corners. I love you too. You know that? More than anything. He leans in for another quick kiss before starting the car and pulling out of the driveway. I love you, she whispers to herself, like she can't believe she's saying it, like she's astonished by how happy saying the words makes her feel. She looks happy. She looks back at him despite his eyes focused on the road. She says dreamily, I love you. He glances at her briefly, seeing her dreamy expression in the way she keeps murmuring it. He smiles to himself, finding it endearing how she seems to be in awe of the words coming out of her mouth. He reaches over and gently squeezes her hand, keeping his eyes on the road. You know, I think I'm starting to get addicted to hearing you say it, he says with a soft chuckle, his thumb brushing over her knuckles. I love you. A blush and a cheeky smile lights up her face as she looks out the window to hide her expression. But she turns her hand over to twine her fingers with his and squeezes his hand tightly, happily at a loss for words. He can't help but smile at how cute she is when she's flustered. He brings their joined hands to kiss her knuckles briefly, before placing their hands back on the center console. You're quiet over there. Too busy falling deeper in love with me? Shut up, she murmurs quietly in embarrassment, with a goofy, wide smile on her face as she watches out the passenger window. He laughs, shaking his head. He loves seeing her like this, happy and silly. I'm just saying, you seem to be really enjoying saying I love you today. He teases gently, glancing over her briefly before focusing back on the road. Stop picking on me, you meanie, she whines. She releases his hand and covers her face with both hands in embarrassment. He laughs harder at her whining, finding it absolutely adorable. He reaches over and gently tugs one of her hands away from her face. You're so cute when you're embarrassed, he says with a grin, giving her hand a quick squeeze before placing it back on the center console. Shut up, she whines in embarrassment. She holds his hand comfortably and gently. Their hands fit naturally together. He continues driving without talking, letting the music play quietly. They enjoy the serene drive together. He finds comfort in the simplicity of the moment, holding her hand as he drives. He glances over at her a few times, noticing how content she seems, just sitting there with him. She eventually picks up his hand, then studies and traces the back of his hand languidly. He keeps his focus on the road, but he feels her lovingly exploring. His shoulders relax slightly as she explores his hand, his eyes watching the road carefully. He loves how gentle she is, how she touches him like he's fragile. He unconsciously spreads his fingers slightly wider, giving more of his hand to touch. He swallows softly when she touches his palm. She places gentle, small kisses to the back of his hand and knuckles, then rubs her lips and cheek against his hand, nuzzling, with her heart overflowing with love. He swallows thickly, his grip on the steering wheel tightening slightly as she nuzzles his hand. He can feel his heart pounding in her chest, her affection making him feel warm and fuzzy inside. He glances down at her briefly, seeing her sweet expression. He takes a deep breath, trying to focus on the road. Her affection is making it hard to concentrate. He gives her hand a gentle squeeze. He feels his heart fluttering in his chest. Her sweet gestures melting him from the inside out. She peppers his hand with soft kisses and sets his hand on her thigh and traces his hand with her fingers. He bites his lip, trying to hold back a smile as she places his hand on her leg and traces his fingers. He loves how comfortable she is around him, how she touches him like it's the most natural thing in the world. She traces the back of his hand all the way to the tips of his fingers, slowly, and he squeezes her thigh with his hand when she traces. Feels a shiver run down his spine at her touch, and he has to consciously keep his eyes on the road. He squeezes her thigh gently, feeling the softness of her skin through her pants. He can feel his pulse quickening, but he tries to keep his composure. She spreads her hand on top of his, comparing their hand sizes, embracing his hot skin on her thigh. She finally tears her eyes off his hand on her thigh and looks out the windshield to watch the road as he drives. He takes a deep breath, relieved that she's looking away, and he glances at her profile, admiring her beauty and the soft expression on her face. He realizes she has no idea what she's doing to him with her innocent affection. They're out of the city, but not too far. They go to a gas station and refuel. She opens the map to find the nearest cafe. It's only another 5 minutes before they arrive to a quaint little cafe. He parks the car and turns off the engine, taking a moment to compose himself before getting out. He walks around to the passenger door and opens it for her, trying to act normal despite his racing heart. "We're here," he says softly, offering her his hand to help her out of the car. "Such a gentleman," she says with mirth as she fits her hand perfectly into his. His heart swells with adoration as he takes in the way she smiles fully and looks up at him with her big, kind eyes. "Only for you." He helps her out of the car, their fingers entwining naturally. He can't help but smile back at her, completely lost in her warm, loving gaze. He brings their joined hands to his lips, pressing a quick kiss to her knuckles. "You hungry?" "Not very. My chef made me an extraordinary breakfast this morning," she says with dramatic flourish. He opens the door to the cafe for her. He chuckles and follows her inside, his eyes never leaving her. "Well, I'm glad I could serve you well, my lady," he says with a teasing smile and a slight bow. They approach the counter. He places a hand on the small of her back, guiding her forward. There's one lone shopkeeper who must be the owner, a very kind lady that helps them decide what to order. He pays, and they sit down at a small table next to the window while they wait for their pastries and coffee. He watches her interact with the kind shopkeeper, her warm smile lighting up the small cafe. He can't help but feel grateful for this moment of peace and normalcy with her. As they sit down at the table, he reaches across to gently brush a strand of hair behind her ear. They get comfortable in their seats, stealing glances at each other with wide smiles. He watches her wince slightly as she adjusts her position on the chair, his brows furrowing slightly. He knows she's sore. Hell, he's the reason she's walking like that. He suppresses a smirk and watches her carefully, taking note of her small winces whenever she moves. She's unable to hide her smile and slight blush on her cheeks as she gets comfortable. She likes the soreness and its memories despite the pain. She folds her hands in her lap with her purse. He leans back in his chair, his eyes never leaving her face. He loves seeing her like this, happy, content, a little sore from their activities. He clears his throat softly, trying to focus on anything else besides the way her hips move slightly when she shifts in her seat. They're both blushing slightly, and then they meet each other's glances. He sets a hand on the table and waits for her to take his hand. They're thinking about their activities, but also enjoying this innocent intimacy. He waits for her small hand to entwine with his. As soon as their hands touch, he curls his fingers around hers possessively. He loves these little moments where they don't need words to communicate, where just a touch speaks volumes. They sit and relax, contented smiles on their faces while they wait patiently for their order. He brings her hand to his lips, pressing a gentle kiss to her knuckles again. He savors the moment, enjoying the way her skin feels against his lips. He sets their entwined hands back down on the table, never breaking contact. He's fallen for her, completely, irrevocably. Her thumb brushes over his skin, Savoring the smoothness and warmth of his hand, she watches their hands as they rest on the table. She murmurs under her breath, "This is nice." He looks at their hands. He murmurs back, "It is." His voice low and content. He loves the simplicity of these moments, where they're not lost in passion but still deeply connected. Another contented silence falls between them for a minute. Then she murmurs in a low voice again, speaking the words slower this time. "It could have been like this all along." His expression softens, reflecting on how they wasted time in silly arguments and misunderstandings, never confronting the possibility of a romantic relationship together. He squeezes her hand. "Yeah, it could have." He studies her face, then adds, "But maybe we needed all that to appreciate moments like these." She sits in silence, reflecting on all the years they've been by each other's side, not realizing the romantic partnership fate had planned for them. All of their life experiences, separate or together, brought them together in the present moment. He senses her deep reflection and gives her hand another gentle squeeze. The countless memories they shared as friends, the laughter, the comfort, the unspoken feelings. "You know..." She looks at him, meeting his softened, loving gaze. In her heart, mixed emotions are jumbled at their missed opportunities and the misunderstandings of the past. "I think we had to get through all that to get here. To this moment, where everything feels right." He pauses, his thumb gently caressing her hand. All those years of friendship, all the stupid fights, they were just steps leading us to this point. The fights we've had in the past, the mean things we've said to each other, she whispers, thinking out loud. She shakes her head in disbelief. He nods, understanding her sentiment perfectly. He's thinking about all the harsh words exchanged in the heat of the moment, the hurt looks, the cold shoulders. All of it seems so insignificant now compared to the love and warmth he feels for her. Crazy, isn't it? "There are some things I won't forgive you for, though," she smirks, casting her gaze out of the window to the passing cars on the nearby road. He chuckles softly, appreciating her honesty and playful tone. He knows she's not talking about anything too serious. It's just her way of acknowledging the past without letting it overshadow their present. And here I thought, and there are things I won't forgive you for either. Oh, now I'm curious, but I don't want to open that can of worms. She chuckles, glancing back at him. She admires his smile, the skin of his cheeks, the cowlick in his hair, how it falls on his forehead, the depth of his beautiful eyes. He laughs gently, his eyes sparkling with amusement, and he leans in closer, his voice dropping to a soft, teasing whisper. "Well, for starters, you remember that time you stole my favorite hoodie and wore it for a whole week without washing it?" I don't remember a specific instance, but I loved wearing your hoodies. I still would, if you let me. Just being wrapped in your warmth and smell, it's endearing, it's comforting. You can't be mad about that. She squeezes his hand and looks at him with the sweetest, pleading eyes. His face softens, and he can't help but smile at her pleading expression. He knows she's right. Her stealing his hoodies was more about seeking comfort than anything else. He gently squeezes her hand back. Fine. I forgive you for that. So, you'll lend me a hoodie again, right? She asks sweetly. She adds her other hand on top of their entwined fingers in eagerness and excitement. He chuckles, already knowing where this is going. He can't resist her puppy-eyed look and the eager way she's clutching his hand. On one condition, he teases. Her eyes sparkle with excitement and her smile grows wider. You have to promise to actually wash it this time, he says, trying to maintain a straight face despite the amusement tugging at his lips. He loves seeing her so excited over something as simple as borrowing his clothes. A pleading pout begins to creep slightly into her features. Her voice is still an adorable whine. But if I wash it, it loses your smell. God, she is cute. He watches her pout deepen, making her look even younger, and teasingly asks, So you're telling me you only wear my clothes because they smell like me? Is there another reason I should? He shakes his head. Her honesty is both adorable and disarming. Fair point, he concedes. All right, you can have a hoodie, but only because I know you'll be cozy and cute in it. I can't cuddle you at all times, but at least I can have a hoodie that smells and feels like your arms wrapped around me, she murmurs sheepishly, pulling back her other hand to rest on her lap. Her hand holding his strokes his knuckles with her thumb. His heart skips a beat at her sweet words, his expression softening completely. You know, sometimes I wonder if you're actually made of pure sugar and sunshine. How can you be this adorable? 1 black coffee, 1 hot vanilla latte, and 2 cheese danishes, calls the middle-aged woman cafe owner from behind the counter. Caleb stands to retrieve the order. As he reaches for the drinks in the pastry bag, the cafe owner smiles warmly at him. You two are such a cute couple, she says. He freezes, his face warming slightly, and he glances back at her, who's oblivious. Warmth floods his chest, and he turns to the table, setting down the drinks and pastries. He slides back into his seat, playing it cool despite the flutter in his chest from the cafe owner's comment. Here you go, sunshine. He hands her the vanilla latte. Mister. Black coffee is mine, she teases, putting her phone away and dedicating her full attention to him. Okay, we're gonna end there because I do need to get ready for bed and I've got some other stuff to do. But I appreciate you guys so much for spending time with me today. And I hope you had a lot of fun listening to me read. And I hope you enjoyed my writing. And we will possibly be back again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for more reading. I have yet to determine what we're gonna read, but we'll figure something out. And let's see. We should go check out this one guy who is a mod for us. So we're gonna go ahead and end stream. You mean beauty sleep? Yes, I'm gonna go get some beauty sleep. If that's what we want to call it. This is the part where we say good night, goodbye, and our see you tomorrows. I appreciate you so much for spending time with me today, and I do hope that you take care of yourself. Until I see you next time, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
If you are watching on Twitch, we are going to do a raid. If you are not watching on Twitch, I highly recommend you come over and you can check out the Discord server on Twitch. You can join there and get notified whenever I go live, regardless of platform. There is also more functionality that can be had on Twitch, so highly recommend. Otherwise, we will be back again tomorrow with some more reading. We're gonna go ahead and start the raid. If you are watching on a different platform than Twitch, the stream is just going to end for you, so highly recommend joining on Twitch. I'm totally forgetting the routine that I have for saying goodnight and goodbyes, but that's okay. So I will see you tomorrow. Please don't forget to drink water, eat food, touch some grass, hug somebody that you appreciate, tell someone you appreciate them, and be nice to yourself. Good night.